Hey, it's Spence from LaunchFlows.com, and I want to do an impromptu Sunday night video. Rob Ellings had asked in the LifterLMS online course creators site about whether you can use a WooCommerce extension to create a Stripe or other payment gateway checkout that looks much like this. And I was able to answer, thanks to Chris's suggestion. This is a no-brainer when you're using LaunchFlows. There's so much more that LaunchFlows does, but essentially it allows you to create a custom checkout experience between WooCommerce and Elementor. And if you're using another program or a plugin like Divi, that will work just fine because Elementor, the free version, can work inside of other page builder layouts or other custom themes and just allow you to do the things you want on the checkouts, the sales pages, thank you pages, and more. And you can use both together. Elementor causes no degradation on speed or otherwise. And again, it's free, so it works really nicely. So let's do this on the fly. I'm gonna basically take this and I'm gonna start a free demo site. So you can go over and use our 7-day free trial. I'm gonna open this in incognito to launch your own free demo site. And this is set up where it'll have all the pieces you want. And in fact, although it may not be fully set up, we'll have also LifterLMS in there. We're going to do a free webinar with John Denwood on June 2nd. So we'll have this all set up for Lifter as well. So let's just do a demo with my test name, Spence Test 10 at websecrets.com. Use your real email because that way you'll get the credentials. Mine is set up here so I can bypass some of the credentials. And a little bit of hard math, and we've got our demo site. Now this is a working, fully functional with examples version of LaunchFlows, along with the stack of other stuff you need. WooCommerce, it has the basic Astra theme, it has the free copy, or in this case, it's the full copy, but it gives you an example of WP Fusion if you want to try some of the marketing automation, Elementor regular, and as I said, we'll also have Lifter in there as well, so you can play with it. What we're going to do is start from scratch, but you really should come and play with any of the 3 examples. So if you click on any of the examples, it goes to the front of the site, and you can see for yourself how they work first. Watch the video, see the components and what happens, and then work your way backwards to the drag and drop page builder. Okay, so that's a really, really fast way to start. I'm actually going to do something a little faster for this example, since this is mostly visual. I'm going to open this up so we have a go at it. This is really simple in terms of what components. What LaunchFlows does is 2 things. Number 1, it allows you to create a custom checkout layout with the components you want, in the position you want, styled as you want. Nothing else on the market allows you to do that. Everything else uses sort of the core WooCommerce checkout shortcode and then puts pretty things around it, or takes those standard components and sort of moves them up and down into fixed hook positions. With LaunchFlows, you have full control using Elementor of the actual checkout components. The second thing LaunchFlows does, which is important, is it gives your products full control to act the way you want them to do. So you can daisy chain together various products into upsells, downsells, cross-sells, order bumps, and more importantly, you can create a flow where with Lifter, somebody can, let's say, buy membership access to your particular course, and they can be taken to the checkout you want, with the upsell you want, to the thank you want, and then it can have even a pre-programmed next step link to take them right to the course they bought. And since this can be done on a global basis, you could create, theoretically, just 3 basic checkout pages. You know, your sales, checkout, thank you, and then all the products will go to where they're supposed to go without you having to set up anything else. All right, but for this one, let's stick with the basics. We're going to do billing, order summary, payment details. Super simple. Let's do it natively. So what we're going to do is we'll go into LaunchFlows in the dashboard, and we only need 2 things. We need a checkout page for this layout, and we're going to have the product. So let's make a new checkout page. With LaunchFlows, you can use any kind of post type for a checkout page. It doesn't have to just be a page. It could be a lesson or a course, or it could be a custom post type. Here we're going to say custom checkout for Lifter. All right, and now what we want to do is there's 2 steps. With LaunchFlows, you can see the 2 steps as a sort of reminder. Step 1 is we need to tell this page it's supposed to be WooCommerce checkout. So I just add the checkout shortcode from WooCommerce right in the normal WordPress editor. Second of all is we're going to need a template that will tell this page what to look like. Exactly what we're trying to do here. Before I go to make the template, let's just publish the page. And as you want, you can adjust obviously the URL and everything else. If you want, you can also make it a child page, use the different layout options, let's say of Astra or your underlying theme. I'm just going to leave this right now as the default template and the default Astra layout, but I will disable the title and the featured image. I'm going to leave the header in place. Now, I'll often change the style of these to suit the look and feel if I want to. If you're looking for Facebook, you might want to set the featured image just to make sure you comply with things like the Open Graph standards. So I'll just choose that as my featured image. Okay, now I'm good to go. What I'm going to do now is create inline a custom Elementor layout. And this is a sort of the wrapping paper that makes this look the way we want it, because otherwise out of the box, it's just going to look like a plain Jane WooCommerce, right? That's not what we're looking for. So let's go and use the add new. Here it gives us the choice to just choose what we want to create. And since it's Elementor free, it's either a page or a section. We just need the section. We don't need to make the whole page because we're using the normal page from WordPress for that. And we'll call this Lifter Custom Checkout Layout. It's a lot of words, but it lets me know what it is if I want to go back and save it, share it, or sell it. You can download any of the things that you create in your demo and keep them for yourself or use them with friends or otherwise. So now we're going to make a layout. In this model, I saw we're using 2 columns, right? Very simple. So just like with Divi or anything else, Elementor lets us choose. Let's do a 2 column. Now here's where LaunchFlows is special. We can go to one of the 2 LaunchFlows shortcodes. There's only 2 of them because they're both multi-purpose. We want to for sure drag at least one of the LaunchFlows components widget in place. And then what we can do is duplicate it, because each one of these can be assigned to a different component of WordPress, or in this case, WooCommerce. So with the first one, remember we looked at the picture, we need the billing field. And I'll just show you what we need. We also want to review the order. We also want to have the payment details. Probably could use the billing fields, but I'm going to use the shipping fields for these other things. And also we want to have a custom buy now button. Super simple. So the next one, I've got the billing. I'm going to put the shipping. So I'm going to scroll down here, fields. We're going to use shipping. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the order review. That says what product I've got. Then I'm going to have the payment. Now there's a couple utility ones that I want to include as well. So let's duplicate this again. I want to make sure that I can relocate the normal login requirements of WooCommerce because I personally don't like it floating around the top. I want to put it where I want it. And next I want to change the notices. That tells me if I've forgotten to fill in a field or whatever. And then finally, I want to relocate the coupon because I don't like it just popping up wherever. So I'm also going to get the coupon. So what LaunchFlows has done is given me individual components. Now I can move them around as I like. And so again, real quick review. We're going to have the billing shipping. I see the coupon on the, I see actually the notices on the top. I don't see any coupon except I have this here. So actually that is the coupon. So it's going to be billing shipping, order review coupon, payment. Let's do that. So we got billing shipping. We got order review, payment on the right. Now I've got these utilities. So I'm going to put the top one in the spot where it says returning customer login and notice. I'm going to put the coupon in between the order review and the payment. Now that by itself is going to give me a much different look. When I go over here, even without a product in it, it's going to show me the essence of where I'm going. But you'll notice that I've got to do something first. Wait, I did the layout, but I have to assign the layout. So as you see here, I haven't actually told LaunchFlows what to use yet. So let's refresh the page now that we've saved our template, and we're going to tell it what we're going to use. So I type in Lifter, and I'm going to say, please now wrap that custom layout that I'm working on onto this page. Once I save it and go back, here's your before, and here's your after. Now, there's a lot of style things that I can still do here, but also you'll notice I need to have a product that requires some kind of a shipping. Otherwise, the shipping fields just don't show up. Now, if you wanted to, you could use the billing fields address stuff, but I actually like to keep the billing fields limited to just the things I need for a basic check-in, like first name, last name, email. And I like to use the shipping and the additional fields for everything else. So let's play with that a little. We go to WooCommerce and we go to the checkout form. And you'll notice if we want, we can adjust the billing fields or the shipping fields to show just what we want. We can see here those options. If I need an additional field, I can do that too. For this product we're going to create, let's give it the information that matches what the example was going to be. So let's see, we've got course called test course page template, 47 euros, right? There's technically no need to ask for city, state, and zip in most cases. So I want to advise you, if it's a purely digital product and you don't need the phone number, you don't need the city and state and so forth, just leave it off. But if you do, you can handle it just like I'm doing here. Let's make sure we don't have the phone. So I'm going to add the phone into the bottom of the shipping field. So I'm going to say shipping phone, and I'll just say phone. And whether we make it required or not, doesn't really matter. It's enabled. We'll save it. And we may change the size of this to make it, let's say, half the width instead of the full width. But we should be good. Okay, now that we've got the fields we want, oh, and there was an error I made. So let's save it and see if I get past that. I'm just going to refresh that. Let's make sure I'm not using the phone somewhere else. And I think we got it that time. Let me just double check my work. Here we go. Phone, shipping phone, label, placeholder, and that should do it. Okay, so now that we've got that field for phone, let's make a product that's going to cover this particular course. Now the chances are good if you made this that it's going to be a subscription, but maybe it's a one-time purchase. For now, we'll just do it as a simple product. So we'll call it Lifter Course Access. I know I'm not literally following what the example is, but this is more clear as to what we're doing. So we're going to make it a virtual product, and I'm just going to use dollars, $47. Now with LaunchFlows, you can create the custom DNA of any product to tell it where it should go. So we want to first say, where should this product go to be purchased? And we already know that we created this custom layout that went on this custom page, the custom checkout for Lifter. So let's choose that checkout as the one where this product will go. Now, I didn't create a custom thank you page, but I could, and I could use the components of LaunchFlows for that as well. But instead, I'm just going to use the existing thank you page that I've created generically called example 1 thank you. If I wanted to, I could create a link that goes to the next step. This would give me a shortcode that I can put into buttons or links or an image to click that could give an option that would be global for any product to take the person on to whatever it is that I've programmed into the product. That means I don't have to worry about putting a one-size-fits-all button on the thank you. I can have a dynamically changing link that is different for every product. I'm going to leave that off right now. There are other choices here that aren't applicable, like if I wanted to make sure this product can only be bought by itself, if I wanted to use the products page itself as a sales page, instant branding, hide your price, lead magnet, cool stuff we can talk about another time or watch our videos. Let's just go ahead and assign this an image so we can see it when it's on the checkout. And one of these over here is my, there we go, my product image. And again, let's just use the LaunchFlows logo for that. Okay, now we've got a product. Now the magic of LaunchFlows is that it gives you a direct checkout link. This is a magic link that can be used anywhere at any time, anywhere in the internet to send this product directly to the place where you told it to start. So watch what happens. If I throw this at my custom checkout, let's say from a Facebook link or anywhere on my other site, notice that it has automatically sent the proper course to the checkout. I've enabled the option if somebody wants, they can buy more, or we can turn that off. I've got lots of the things that we need already in place. Now let's jazz it up a bit. We still need to add those shipping fields. So let's go back to our design and let's take the shipping fields, which are here. We need to make sure that the product is not virtual. In order to make shipping fields show up, you can't have a virtual product. It has to be a non-virtual one. So when we do that and we refresh, we should see the shipping fields, and there they are. Now we've got the essence of what we need, but we want to change the look and feel a little. Well, we can do a lot more than what's shown here, but right off the bat, we can change things like the color and also the custom Buy Now. The Buy Now button with LaunchFlows can be the default one from WooCommerce. If we use the default one, it stays in the place of the payment gateway options. However, let's take it one step further. Let's go to our layout and let's do a couple things. let's go back, sorry. If I go to the checkout, the actual checkout I created for this, let's edit that. This is our default underlying checkout. You'll notice we've got another box that allows us to change the checkout button text. So if we're using the default checkout button, I can have it say buy now instead of place order. All right, so let's do buy now. This is an easy way to stick with the default stuff, but yet still change the text for every single checkout. If I wanted to instead, I can make a custom place with a custom button. And to do that is easy using, again, LaunchFlows components. We need just two components, and I'm going to put these in the bottom because these are mechanical in nature. The first one is we're going to want to tell this layout to turn off the default button from WooCommerce. So LaunchFlows, we drag a new mechanical component down, and we're going to use the hide option. Hide the checkout button. That says hide the normal WooCommerce checkout. Let's see what it does. Watch that pink button. Poof, it's gone. Now we want to replace it. So let's use a default button from Elementor. And we're going to place it for now in the normal spot. And we're going to use the same text. We'll say buy now. And what we can do is make it the size and shape and everything else we want, but we can also color it. Let's do this. That's not what I want. I want to do, let's do, did he have dark or light? Let's see. White on blue. So we're going to do white text, and I'm clicking a lot here, sorry. We're going to do white text, and we're going to do a blue background. Let's make that a little bluer blue. Let's shift that over a bit. Something in that ballpark. That's close enough for now. Okay. Now that we've got that, we want to tell this button that it needs to take over the job of the default WooCommerce button. So we go to the advanced and we simply say the same syntax, sorry, for the CSS ID, LF in lowercase, LaunchFlows, checkout button. So this says to this button, hey, Mr. Button, you got to do the job of doing the checkout. Now when we refresh, we've got the look and feel we want. And obviously I need to tweak that a little bit. That's 100% full width. So we'd want to use the lifter controls to modify that, or we can shortchange it with another method that I'll show you in a second. But for these kinds of things, typically what you can do is just take the particular element and you tell it how big you want it. Usually I do that with the padding, right? So I'll do right and left. And I can just put a large value in there, 100. Oh, wrong button. Let's do it with the actual, this padding with the button itself. So right, 100. Let's unhook the top and bottom. And let's see what we can come to. We'll just adjust that till it looks about the way we want. Maybe I'll do 30, 30, 100. Let's do a little less. This isn't about my design skills on the fly. This is about my just demonstrating the basics. So that's a little too big. Let's nail that down. I'm just going to not spend too much time on this for right now, just to get this passed. You can play with the button itself later, of course. Okay, close enough for now. So now we've got the layout with a functional button that will replace the normal checkout. And there was a couple design elements or other things we want to just brush up. We've got, for example, like if you want, you can use the headlines, billing information, order summary, payment details. You can just use regular Elementor components for those, right? So you notice there's no headings here anyway. So you could just drag some normal stuff in place. For example, I would just use the headline stuff, right? So you could do, put this in place, and you could say, you know, billing information. And I'm not sure if that was centered, but let's make this an H4. And let's do the thing here where we say text color. I think that was white. And I'm not sure. Let's see if we got a background here. Background. And we can put a color. It was purplish. Let's call it that. And maybe we want to center that. I don't remember. I'm just winging it. Okay, let's pretend that's close enough. You get the idea. Now I would just probably duplicate this. And I would drag, I think we had the other one up here. So let's drag this to the top. And so we had one over order summary and one over payment details. So we'll call this one order summary. And let's duplicate this other one, duplicate, and we'll put that down here, payment details. Now the neat thing is that these normal, components from Elementor are terrific, but you just normally can't get the other components from WooCommerce in the checkout where you want. That's the big issue. And here, let's do this too. I think there seems to be a little bit of a margin. I'm not sure if this is going to change it. Let's say that's not going to do it. There's just a little default. I'm not going to worry about tweaking this too much, but you could probably tweak the little extra space in there. Let's see what we got. And again, I'm just trying to give you an example of how quickly you can do some stuff. Getting close. There's some space here and some other things that you might want to do. For example, maybe we'll put these notices at the bottom just to save us the trouble so everything aligns without having to do some negative padding. And let's take one more check at our example. So we've got this, the personal data thing. This is something that comes out of WooCommerce by default. I recommend that you just use the same thing as manual text and put it into a text box right above the button. You can also use one of the options in LaunchFlows with the plugin from WooCommerce to only show the checkouts that are applicable per product. So maybe you don't want to offer Stripe and PayPal, you only want to offer pay via check. No problem. The logins of that. I mean, that's pretty much it. So as far as the layout is concerned, I think we've got the essence of this. Let's just put a little placeholder blurb in that kind of represents that, that's your little warning about what you want for your privacy policy. And again, you might change the typography here a bit, make it a little smaller, maybe make it italic or whatever. Now, here's the neat thing about it. If you don't like certain things to show up with LaunchFlows, there's a technique you can use to hide stuff. And the way that you hide stuff is twofold. Number one is we've got another component that we haven't shown yet. The other component is the style manager. The style manager allows you to set a style for the components in this checkout only based upon their name and what they do. So you can set the default typography and color and link colors and everything like that. You can adjust the color and look and size of all the fields, the billing, shipping, and so forth. The buttons, both the custom checkout button, the default one, the empty cart button, any of the buttons that are normally part of components can be adjusted here in both normal and hover state. You can set for a couple of our features like the product image. If you wanted to have the featured product in the cart show up with a big image, you can actually drop in a LaunchFlows component, adjust the scale. The order review information, right? Whether you want to show the product link colors the way they are or remove them entirely and so forth. You can even remove whether you want to show the featured product icon. We've also got a couple other components like for our dynamic bump widget that lets you sell products on a checkout. You can adjust whether you show the credit card and other information for gateway, and then of course custom CSS. So using this, you can set one style manager that gives all the styles you need in one spot, and then you can save this either as a template or a global widget and use it with this entire layout or separately. Now, if I want to save and share this whole layout that I've done, I can do that, and I can use it again and again and again, even on other new checkouts. So I do save as template, and I would call this, my global lifter product checkout or whatever. That way it's in my template library and I can just use it again and again. Or I can download it with an export, share it, sell it, save it, whatever. Now, with the layout itself, let's look at how this works. If I were to not fill out the name information and I click the button, you'll see that that notice that I put in the bottom will show up and say, hey, this stuff's required. What's neat, if you notice, is that this ordinarily would show up just floating around the top of your page. The next thing is, if I were to come from this page and I wasn't logged in, it would give me a similar, hey, if you're a member, log in. And that's right here as well. My coupon is existing here. And again, I can change the color scheme with the style manager. So for example, if I go over here, I have the option for gateways. I can change the credit card icons. I can hide show. I could change the Stripe payment box background color and so forth. So maybe if I liked blue, And I think we got one for the coupon as well. I'm not sure if it's in there. You know, I have to check back. To be fair, I don't know. One of these sets that for the coupon as well. But in any event, we can ultimately change the color of this. Now let's see what the checkout looks like. So if I put in some info of who the buyer is, what the nice thing is with LaunchFlows is because we set up where this product gets bought as well as where it goes after being bought, this is going to take us through the checkout to the particular place that we want this thing to go. Remember, we had that custom thank you page. Now, in this case, it's asking me also for my address. So let's just put in 123 Main Street, Chicago, whoops, Illinois. Come on, Illinois, you can do it. 60601 or something. All right, now that we got that, let's try to buy it. And that is an invalid zip code. And it's possible, I'm not sure, I haven't set up in this demo the shipping method, so I may have to go, let's go back and turn on the shipping methods real quick. Sorry, I didn't actually have a product here that required the shipping field, so let me go to settings and enable that. Shipping, and let's do United States. One sec. Okay, now let's try it again. And there you go. So now it takes us to the custom thank you page. It shows us, this is a design that I created with Elementor. It shows us what we just bought. And you'll notice you can have either visit your account dashboards, see your previous orders, or with Lifter, I would just modify this to add that short code for the product. So remember I showed you over here with the product that you can do a next step link. So what I would do here is give this next step link the URL of whatever Lifter course page I had. So I don't have Lifter turned on here, but let's imagine that I added a new page. Let's say this was the Lifter, you know, Lifter course starting page. Okay, let's just pretend. I know it's not. If I did that and I refresh this, I can then choose that as the place that this button will link to. So Lifter course starting page. I'll save it. And now what I can do is use this to dynamically create the link to that page. This allows me to do that global checkout or global setup because every product can have a different URL, but the button link can be set up universally. So in this case, in my thank you, I could just modify this to add, let's say, a button or a link. I'll do a button here. And I'll put the short code in for the next step link, and I'll say, go to your course now. And again, the reason this is cool is because this does not require you to go and have a different thank you page for every single course. You can have one thank you page, and the product that gets purchased can say where you're supposed to go with this. And that makes it really simple without having to set up flows, without having to set up steps, to just make a one-size-fits-all thank you page. So let's see what this would look like. I'll go back to view the page. And in this case, when I click it, there you go. It takes us on, and this would work for any other page. So this is a quick overview of how LaunchFlows makes it really possible to create a custom checkout, take ordinary products in WooCommerce and assign them really powerful capabilities. I encourage you to try some of these examples, especially example 3, which show you the things that are so easy with LaunchFlows, where you can do upsells, downsells, instantly registering per people, adding them to your CRM, doing one-click checkouts, post pre-order upsells and bumps, and so forth. The other examples also show you how to do lead magnets and so forth. If you have any questions, you can obviously reach me over in the Facebook group with Lifter, or you can reach me over here at launchflows.com. We've got a great Facebook group as well, where it's very proactive. So if you go over to facebook.com/groups/launchflows, join our group for free, and you'll have a lot of fun here learning more about how you can use Lifter, your favorite page builder with Elementor, WooCommerce, and do some things with courses. Now, I didn't show you this, but before I leave this video, I also do much of the support for Jack Arturo's amazing WP Fusion plugin. And so you might find me over there on his forums or helping with answering support tickets. But what I also want to show you is this is completely integrated with WP Fusion. So when we look at any of the products, we can assign tags that go to our favorite CRM when somebody purchases a particular course, let's say. So purchased Lifter course. And this can be used both to enroll somebody automatically in the course, but also to trigger visibility of different things in the entire checkout process. Because once we know that somebody has bought the product, we can differentiate what they see in the layout here, because any and all of these particular items can be visible or not visible based upon what the particular tags are that somebody has. We go to the widget or thing we want to see. We scroll down to WP Fusion, and then we can essentially say, which tag do you need to have or not have, in order to see this item. So a lot of cool stuff you can do I didn't touch on. Hopefully this gets you inspired. I would encourage everybody to take up the free trial, and then also look for a notice from Chris about our June 2nd free event with John Dunwood, where you can ask questions about your site, your membership site, whatever you want with WordPress, WooCommerce, Lifter, LaunchFlows, WP Fusion, and more. I'll see you then.